Namaste and good morning, everyone. Let's start our Saturday class where we are trying to understand what Rishi Patanjali is saying to us. So let's do the prayers first. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parbrahmo, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Om Bhurбhavасваha, Tatsavitra Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat, Asto Ma Satgamya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya, मृत्युर्मा अमृतम गम्या ओम सहनावतु सहनौभुनक्तु सवीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्वी नावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. Let's open our books, chapter number 2, and we ended our class with verse number 15. It's a long sutra, and whenever there's a long mantra or long sutra, it's a good idea to break it down, and that's why I broke it down for you in 3 parts so that you can understand it better. So now let's start the class with verse number 16. Heyan duhkam anagatam. Heyan means which can be renounced. Something which is of an inferior nature and which does not deserve to be entertained. Heyan. Duhkam, sorrow, pain. Anagatam, which has not yet come. So pain that is not yet come can be abandoned. Okay? Pain. We never want to have a pain. Pain is a sign of an undesirable condition. Actually, the yogis say pain is the result of our past carelessness. This is a very simple and straightforward anatomy of suffering. Because once suffering has begun, our body as well as our mind, they are in its grip. It's pointless to grieve over it. A wise person remembers at that time that it is my own carelessness that I'm suffering. When we are sick, we need treatment. All our lives, we have been simply been treating our current problems. We try to minimize them, and we want to have freedom from them because they cause suffering. And majority of us pay little or no attention to eliminating the source of our pain. The Yogi Guru says, dig deeper, find the source. Because as soon as our current suffering has passed, we revert to our old ways of living and being. The same carelessness, same unhealthy lifestyle continues. And in our ignorance, we perceive the interval between two painful conditions as a period of happiness. And we think this is the opportunity to enjoy life. On the other hand, a wise person recognizes that this interval is an opportunity to create a happy future by eliminating the possibility of future pain. This is the difference between a wise person and not so wise person. We saw in sutras in this chapter 12 to 15, Rishi Patanjali is clearly telling us that our present circumstances are a continuation of our past. Our past, nobody else's past. Karmic impressions of our past result in what we experience today. Because the karmas that have reached maturity constitute our destiny. And destiny is almost unavoidable. Destiny not only creates and leads to external circumstances, but also influences our mind and intellect to run toward and embrace such circumstances. That's why it's often said that destiny is unavoidable, unalterable. But on the other hand, the karmas that have not yet reached maturity have not yet been employed to create our destiny. Rishi Patanjali says we can definitely avoid them, provided we make an effort, though. We think that effort is only just putting our head down at the feet of the Guru or God. There is something more we need to do. We need to change our thinking, change our lifestyle. We got to do something about it. Because we got to remember that this privilege is exclusive domain of the human beings. We can change. All creatures other than humans belong to a unique category called Bhog Yoni, which literally means the species which can only undergo the experiences brought by destiny. That's a Bhog Yoni. Because their bodies are designed to survive in their natural environment, their minds are designed to see their natural environment as the only world. That's all they see. They cannot see beyond that. Their understanding of the time and space is tightly circumscribed. Even their memories are short. If you put a goldfish in a little jar, for a goldfish, that jar is as big as the ocean. It can take one round and forgets. But our memories are not like that. So the past and the future is almost non-existent to these Bhog Yoni. How do they live their life? According to the instincts. That's why I said instinct guides them to eat, sleep, and procreate. Planning to change the course of their present to create a desirable future is beyond their capability. So they are subject to whatever the destiny has deposited in their present. But on the other hand, us human beings belong to a totally different category called Karam Yoni. The species which has the privilege to performing actions at will so that we can change the course of our destiny. That's how the human body is designed. Human body is designed not only to survive in its natural environment, but also to adapt to new environments. Human mind is designed to see and explore beyond its immediate environment. Its understanding of time and space is very broad. Its memory is linear, with the ability to string together the past, the present, and the future. The intellectual power and intuitive wisdom enable a human being to examine the validity of instinct and to operate both within and without and beyond to the realm of eating, sleeping, procreating. Ahar, nidra, bhay, maithun. Animals do that. We can even do more than that. But if we are doing only that, then we are no better than animals. No doubt there are circumstances in life that we cannot avoid. And those circumstances constitute our destiny. But unlike other creatures, we have the freedom of choice to conceive, create, and choose a future of our liking. Because the present, which is heavily under the influence of our destiny, that means the consequences of our past deeds, plays a significant role in creating our future. But got to remember that the present has no power to block our plan to change our lives. Remember that. You have the full freedom in the present. You cannot say that this is my destiny to just stay like this. We have the freedom, we have the intellect, we have a higher mind, we have the resources. That's why human beings are called in a karma yoni, the species with the privilege of taking charge of its own future destiny. In other words, the fact that we are born human is living proof that we are not totally at the mercy of our previous karmas. And those who understand this fact and exercise their unique human privilege can attain freedom from this bondage. What is the bondage? Just coming here, going through all that, the birth and the growth and the decay and the death, and then coming back again. We can attain the freedom. But the carelessness, when we become careless about it, when we become careless to choose our own destiny, we can move backward towards the bhogyone. And according to the rishis, this is the greatest loss. Greatest loss. What makes us become careless? Because we got to know, why do we become careless regarding our unique power? And consequently remain caught in the wheel of karma. That is the subject of the next sutra. So remember, in this sutra, he is very clearly saying, emphatically he is saying that suffering or the pain that is not yet come can be abandoned. Can be abandoned. Now let's look at that. Why do we become careless? Why don't we take the rein in our own hand of our life? drashtridrishyayoh, sanyogo, heyahetuh. Drishtri, that is the soul, the perceiver, the seer. Dekhne wala, drishtri. Drishyo, perceivable. That means the worldly objects, drishya. Or the object of the senses. Sanyogaha, complete union, complete identification. Heya means, again, avoidable, undesirable. Or the pain that can be prevented. Hetu means cause. The union of consciousness with the objects of the world is the cause of pain. So it's like a veiled consciousness. You are not seeing what you are supposed to see. So we have the tools, we have the means to attain the freedom from the pain and the miseries. Our core is, our real essence is pure. We can call it consciousness. We know that we have the ability to see as it is. But our consciousness uses the mind to experience the objects of the world. It's like a mirror of the mind. Through the mirror of the mind, it sees. And first of all, the mind is the first evolute of the nature. It's the finest product. It is designed to be clear, transparent, and objective. As long as the mind retains its purity, it reflects both the true nature of our core being and the true nature of the material world. It's almost like a mirror or a glass. And through the glass, we are seeing outside. If the glass is clean, we can see what is exactly outside. And we can also remember that who are we, who is seeing what outside. So this mind is like a glass. And this kind of a mind is a greatest friend. Because clean mind helps us to understand who we are and our relationship with the world we live in. If we are accompanied by such a mind, we are able to live in the world and then yet remain above it. Such a mind is able to see everything and it can stay unaffected by what it sees. So clean mind. We will see in chapter 4, verse number 23, he will tell us the union of consciousness with such a mind is the ground for attaining samadhi. This kind of a mind. Pragya, he uses the word, highest state of knowledge, where there's no pain, there's no misery, once and for all. But over here in verse number 17 of this chapter, he is stating that the union of the seer and the seen is the cause of all pain and misery. So that means the mind is not clean. Mind is not seeing. Mind doesn't let us see exactly what it is. So the core issue in which type of union is the cause of misery and which is the cause of freedom from misery. You remember in the first chapter, he talked about samadhis and he referred to the state of mind which is perfectly clear, calm, and tranquil. A mind free from all modifications. That's why what was the definition of yoga? Yoga is chit vritti nirodha. No modifications, no fluctuations in the mind. That means a mind free from all the thought constructs to pervade everything within and without and to be fully aware of it. That is the natural attribute of the mind, to see as it is. And then in Sutra 3, right after that, in the verse, chapter number 1, see, I like to go back so that you don't forget what we have been learning. This is a necklace of pearls of wisdom. So we cannot just take one pearl out and just try to understand it. They are all connected. When we are accompanied by a mind, we are able to remain established in our true nature with that kind of a mind. When there's no fluctuations in the mind, it's still and it's calm. Our union with such a mind is beginningless. to be aware of our true nature is our innate ability. So in other words, a clear, calm, tranquil mind helps us experience the limitless expanse of consciousness. And with this kind of a mind, even if we are living in the body, in this chaotic world, we can still be peaceful. There's no bondage. However, in this verse, is referring to the union of consciousness with the mind that has lost its pristine state. That means an abhyasi who could not keep the mind calm and clear and tranquil. It has become muddy. Such a mind is caught in its own vrittis, in its own revolving world of thoughts. Have you noticed when you sit down, you want to meditate and mind is, you don't even know where it is. That's the kind of it, they call it a monkey mind. Because the mind has lost its ability to reflect consciousness and the objective world as they are. So the union of consciousness with such a mind is the cause of pain and misery. That's what he's trying to tell us. It's not possible to attain freedom from this pain by isolating the mind from our core being, because both our core being and our mind are beginningless. So we are the essence, the Atma, the consciousness, if you want to call it. We cannot separate it from the mind right now. So the only option is to free the mind from its ever-revolving world of thoughts. This is what yoga is all about. Shutting down the mind's vrittis. So what is preventing us? We know what to do, still we cannot do it. Why can't we arrest our vrittis? Why cannot we make our mind clear, calm, and tranquil? As we saw in the previous verse, says that it is our own carelessness. When he was talking about the obstacles, one of the obstacles was pramad. That is the carelessness. So pramad is in the yogic literature, this pramad word is used often. See, pra means a unique. Mad means drunkenness. It's a unique kind of a drunkenness. We know what to do when we still don't do it. It's almost like if somebody is drunk, the person will not know that anything is wrong in drinking. They keep on drinking. Even if somebody tells them it is harmful for you, the mental level, physical level, financial level, but they'll keep on drinking because they are under the influence of that. A person is oblivious to the consequences. That's how we are. Careless. Sometimes the severity of the pain makes us resolve not to involve ourselves in a painful action again. But carelessness is a unique kind of a drunkenness. We forget. We make promise. We remind ourselves that we will get up early in the morning. We will start the day properly, with some yogic cleansings, with the meditation, with the prayers, with the exercise. We'll eat right. We'll do some selfless service. Before we know, we forget. A careless person, even after experiencing the painful consequences, remain blind to the cause. They believe that they want to be free. But in reality, They find pleasure in embracing what they know to be painful. What is the this unique form of drunkenness? Why do we have that? Think about it. Attachment. The more we identify ourselves with the objects of the world, the more we lose sight of the true purpose and meaning of life. The mind becomes preoccupied with this identification. And as our identification matures, we have a hard time letting go of it. Because it's always at the forefront of the mind. Attachment to these identification forces us to hold on to them. Out of habit, thoughts pertaining to the objects of our attachment keep appearing in the mind. On one hand, we do not want them to occupy our mind because they are painful. At the same time, we do not want them to go away. It's almost like a mind is caught in this dilemma, which is a source of pain. We cannot get rid of the mind because it is our eternal companion. It's not like we can take the clothes off and put new clothes on. Mind is for us. Day and night, in our dream, the mind is there. No matter where we go, we think we can go to some ashram or we can go to some forest. Mind is going to go with us over there too. We cannot leave mind home. It is our eternal companion. Unless we commit ourselves to yoga, which in its ultimate sense is a samadhi. Sure, yoga starts with cleaning the mind or cleaning the body and going through all that processes, but yoga in ultimate sense is a samadhi. Look at the charts of Hatha Yoga or the Raj Yoga. What is the goal? Samadhi. Our union with the mind and its ever-revolving world of thoughts is unending pain. Remember that. Sometimes we think that this sutra really presents a pessimistic view of life. How can we keep this mind pristine? How can we get rid of this attachment? We wonder whether there's anything good in life, whether the union of mind and consciousness leads us to experience anything other than pain. That's not true. These kind of sutras, they are there to wake us up, to make sure that we do our sadhana properly. We keep the goal in our mind constantly. So they are not written to make us feel pessimistic or we cannot do it. No, not at all. Definitely the path is steep, but there's no choice. We got to walk on that. My own Gurudev Ji used to say that for a yogi, the path is like the edge of the sword, like walking on the edge of the sword. Got to be alert. We got to be vigilant. And there's no other way. So let's see what next sutra says, because it really answers this question. Prakash, kriya, sthiti, shilam, bhut, indriya, atmakam, bhog, apvargaha, arth, drishyam. Prakash is light. And over here, it really means understanding the quality of sattva. Prakash is always about sattvika, illumination. Kriya is about rajas, because kriya means action. The principle of motion, kriya. Sthiti, that is stability, heaviness. So quality of tamas. So prakash, kriya, sthiti. Sattva, rajas and tamas. That's what it means. Sheelam. Sheelam means the characteristics, the intrinsic characteristics. So here prakash, kriya, sthiti, sheel are the qualifiers of the drishyam, the objective world, the last word, drishyam. Okay. Bhoot, the gross elements, bhoot, earth, water, fire, air, space. These are called bhoot padarth. Indriya, the senses. Atmakam, which is made of. Bhog, enjoyment, fulfillment. Upvarg, freedom, salvation. Upvarg. See, upvarg is a lower, upvarg, higher, freedom. Earth means purpose or the goal. Drishyam, that which is to be seen. That means this world or the worldly objects. So the objective world is made of elements and senses. Illumination, action, and stability are its inherent qualities. The objective world furnishes consciousness with the means of achieving fulfillment and freedom. So that means this world which we see, the world which we are in, this nature, this prakriti, it has purpose. So that's why I said that what he has been talking about is not a pessimistic view. We got to just look at the life with the right kind of understanding. And this sutra really opens it up for us. Clearly, he is telling us why this objective world exists. Because often we just blame God. Why did God created it? God created it with a very beautiful purpose. And Rishi Patanjali is telling us what it is made of and what its intrinsic qualities are, attributes are, and why we are here. According to yoga, nature evolves in response to the need of consciousness. Consciousness wishes to experience its infinite joy and boundless freedom. Bhog and moksha, both. So in response to this intrinsic and spontaneous intention, nature is moved. So three intrinsic attributes, prakash, kriya, sthiti, spontaneously awakened, causing unmanifested nature to become manifest. Because this nature is eternal too, prakriti is eternal, but it can go from the unmanifest to the manifest. And this is how our objective world, drishya, is born. So the purpose of this objective world is to provide an environment where consciousness can experience its infinite joy and boundless freedom. This is the reason. Because Atma is nothing but boundless bliss. So this spontaneous intention brings consciousness and nature together in their most pristine state. So from this union, pristine world is born. We have the environment where consciousness can fulfill its intention. The experience of the pure bliss and the absolute freedom. Okay, so these two words remember, bhog and upvarg. Such consciousness, which is called Purusha also, has access to nature's infinite bounty, limitless joy, and freedom. And such a state of consciousness is called Ishwar. We saw that earlier when he defined Ishwar for us. But then there is another state of consciousness that could not or did not retain the knowledge pertaining to its spontaneous intention. And yet nature is moved in response to that intention. The unmanifest becomes manifest, creating an environment where the consciousness can find fulfillment and freedom. So God always remembers that, but we get so involved into the Prakriti, we forget our true nature. That is the ordinary consciousness, you can call it, or the individual soul, which is opposed to that consciousness that never fell from its pristine understanding. So God never forgets, we forget. And the yoga sadhana is that we can remember again and attain that Godhood. The world perceptible to our senses and comprehensible to our mind is for this ordinary category of soul. So that's why the yoga sadhana or the practice of yoga is for us. And these ordinary souls, if you want to call it, can be divided into two major classes. Those who are vigilant, those who want to regain their pristine knowledge and fulfill their purpose of being born and living in the world. That is a one category. And the second one is those who are complacent, not motivated to recover their pristine knowledge, and who do not even imagine that there is a purpose of being born. Why did they come here? What to do? That is a second category. So it's up to us which category we want to belong to. But this sutra is addressing the people belonging to the first category. He's not talking about the people who are not ready to change, ready to see the purpose of life. These scriptures are always for the students who are motivated, students who see that, hey, there is a higher purpose in life. And the previous sutra, the sutra number 17, that was, he was talking about the people belonging to the second category. Remember that. So that is why, according to this sutra, the objective world evolving from the union of Purusha and Prakriti has a twofold purpose. Providing the experience of fulfillment and freedom, both. And whereas the previous sutra, the same objective world is nothing but pain. So I hope you are seeing it clearly between this verse and the previous verse. Because here in this sutra, Patanjali is making 3 points. The world and worldly objects have a twofold purpose, which is enjoyment and freedom. The world is made up of 5 elements and 11 senses, including the mind. Okay, 5 karmendriya, 5 jnanendriya, and 1 mind. So 11. And third is illumination, activity, and stability are the intrinsic attributes of this world. So sattvikta, rajasikta, tamsikta, they are part of this nature. We'll go through these 3 points separately. because these verses are sure we can just read it and just keep on moving along. But most of you have studied Yog Sutras before also. So that's why this time around, I am spending a little bit more time on each sutra. So we'll start from here. So I hope you have written down these 3 points over here. Let me repeat it again because next time I'll start from here. So the first point is the world and the worldly objects have a twofold purpose: enjoyment and freedom. Okay, most of the time, what do? We enjoy and we want to drown. No, enjoy and freedom. Second is the world is made up of 5 elements, 5 bhuts, and 11 senses. Okay, so 5 karmendriya, 5 jnanendriya, and 1 mind. And third point is illumination, activity, and stability are intrinsic attributes of this world. So this is where we are going to start our next week's class. Okay, so let's stop it and say the final mantra also. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much for coming.